Whispers of the Wind. In the small coastal town of Elms Bay, where the ocean breeze carried the scent of salt and wildflowers, a quiet girl named Evelyn worked at her grandmother's flower shop. Every morning before dawn, she would ride her bicycle to the market, her woven basket filled with roses, lavender, and baby's breath. Her life was peaceful but ordinary, like the steady tides that kissed the shore. Then came Adrian. He arrived one stormy evening in late autumn, a travel photographer who had wandered across continents but was searching for something more than just beautiful landscapes. The power had gone out that night, and Evelyn was delivering candles to neighbors when she saw a stranger huddled under the awning of the closed cafe. Soaked and shivering, he looked lost, not just from the storm, but from life itself. "Need a light?" she asked, holding out a candle. That simple question lit the beginning of their story. Adrian stayed in Elms Bay longer than he planned. Days turned to weeks. He rented a small cottage near the cliffs, where he spent hours photographing the waves and sunsets, but more and more, he found himself drawn to Evelyn's quiet presence. She, in turn, was intrigued by his stories, tales of deserts, ruins, mountaintops, and cities bursting with life. They spent evenings walking along the beach, talking about dreams they'd never spoken aloud. Evelyn confessed she had always wanted to paint but never dared. Adrian admitted that even though he captured beauty with his camera, he often felt empty behind the lens. "I take pictures of the world," he said one night, "but I don't belong to any part of it." Until now. Their bond deepened, not with grand gestures but with small, tender moments. She taught him how to arrange flowers, he taught her how to see the world through a different frame. He captured her laughter on film. She painted the cliffs where he once stood, staring into the horizon. But time is a cruel reminder that nothing stays still. Adrian received an offer from a famous magazine, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to travel through Asia for a year-long photography project. Evelyn's heart sank when he told her. He asked her to come with him, but her grandmother's health was declining, and the flower shop needed her. She couldn't leave. They stood at the train station on the day of his departure, the platform quiet except for the wind that played with Evelyn's scarf. "I'm afraid if you go," she whispered, "you'll forget me." Adrian gently cupped her face. "I could travel to every corner of this world, Evelyn, but I'd still be looking for you in every sunset, every bloom, every breeze." He left, and seasons passed. Winter blanketed Elms Bay. Then spring came, and Evelyn painted more than ever, portraits of moments they'd shared, of windswept beaches and smiles caught between tears. She even opened a small gallery next to the flower shop. Every month, a letter arrived from somewhere far away, India, Japan, Morocco, filled with pressed flowers, small sketches, and words that made her heart ache with longing. Then one summer evening, as she was closing the shop, she saw a familiar figure standing by the door, holding a camera in one hand and a bouquet of wildflowers in the other. "I came back," he said, his voice rough from travel but soft with love. "Not because the world wasn't beautiful, but because none of it was home without you." Evelyn ran into his arms, and in that moment, all the waiting, the wondering, the heartache, everything dissolved into the embrace they had both dreamed of. From that day on, they built a life of quiet joy, of art, laughter, and love that didn't need grand adventures to feel extraordinary. Sometimes, the greatest journey is the one that brings you home. Beneath the autumn stars. In a small, quiet village nestled between golden hills and amber forests, there lived a young woman named Alara. She was known for her gentle spirit, her love for books, and her habit of wandering alone beneath the falling leaves every evening. Alara worked at the village's little library, a cozy place filled with stories and dreams. But deep in her heart, she longed for her own story, one written not in ink, but in shared glances and quiet promises. One chilly October morning, a stranger arrived in the village. His name was Selim, a traveling photographer who captured forgotten places and fleeting moments. He was searching for inspiration, and something about the village, its stillness, its charm, pulled him in. Their first meeting was by accident. Alara had just stepped out of the library when Selim, distracted by the lens of his camera, nearly collided with her. Apologies were exchanged, laughter followed, and from that moment, their paths began to intertwine. Selim started spending his days photographing the village, often lingering near the library. Alara, curious and cautious, slowly opened up. They talked about books, art, and the places Selim had seen: snowy mountains in Switzerland, ancient cities in Morocco, the northern lights in Iceland. To her, his life sounded like a dream. To him, her world, rooted, quiet, sincere, felt like the home he didn't know he was missing. As the leaves turned from gold to crimson, so did their feelings deepen. They walked beneath the autumn stars, hands brushing, hearts racing. On the old wooden bridge over the river, Selim took her picture, no camera, just a memory he promised never to forget. He told her that she reminded him of a lighthouse, not because she was lonely, but because she helped him find his way. But seasons change, and so do dreams. Selim was offered an exhibition in Paris, a chance to display his work in one of the world's most prestigious galleries. It was everything he had worked for. When he told Alara, there was silence between them, filled with words unspoken. She smiled, though her heart trembled, and said, "You have to go." "I don't want to go without you," he whispered. "And I don't want to be the reason you don't," she replied. They parted with a kiss beneath the falling leaves, a promise in the air that one day, when the time was right, they'd find each other again. Years passed. Alara stayed in the village, becoming the new head librarian, turning the library into a place where people gathered not just for books, but for warmth and community. Every autumn, she would walk the same path, wondering, remembering. Then one day, as the leaves began to fall once more, a familiar figure appeared by the old bridge, camera slung over his shoulder, eyes just the same. Selim had returned. "I realized," he said softly, "that no photograph, no city, no gallery, none of it means anything without the person who makes it all feel like home." Tears welled in Alara's eyes as she stepped forward, taking his hand. This time, there was no goodbye, only a beginning.